Hello, guys. Hello, guys. This is Coach AJ. I have been wanting to come on TikTok Live, and today, finally, I made it happen today. So I just want to talk to you guys about the importance of having a educational coach like myself. I'm sure those of you who listen to my videos or who have watched having a educational coach like myself. I'm sure those of you who listen to my videos or who have watched my videos, you already know that my story, because it wasn't giving me fulfillment. What was happening was that in summertime, it gets very hot in the warehouse. And then in wintertime, it gets extremely cold. House management position, and then come into education. So I had to do my research and I went through an alternative certification program, guys. So as I was going through the program, I took all my courses, my modules, took all the tests, did my observation. I had to do my reflection, which is like writing about how your experiences as a teacher. I had some classroom observations as well. So professional responsibilities. So if you're a risk taker, understand that how you and pedagogy and professional responsibilities. So when you talk about professional responsibilities, you're talking about your responsibility toward the profession. Professional responsibilities, you're talking about your responsibility toward the profession. Profession, the work as a teacher. So you have responsibility toward the teacher, work with your administrative devices, you have responsibility to them. And then you have parents and responsibility toward the children or the students that you serve. And these are your okay professional and relationship of how to work as a partner with the parents to support their children's education. That's very important. And then, of course, professional responsibility. Your responsibility as a teacher to deliver the instruction, to prepare lesson plans, to work collaboratively with other teachers. Okay, but when it came to time for me to go take the PPR, they had the program that I went through had 240 tutoring as the preparation tool. So they were expecting me or anyone who goes through the program to score tutoring, and you score 240% or 80%. Chances are when you take the PPR person, you will pass. That's the rationale. But then when I went through the program, I quickly realized that, okay, wait a minute, it's going to take me through the program. I quickly realized that, okay, wait a minute, it's going to take me more than the 242. The stimulus, and then the STEM is the question. And then you have the multiple choice answers, responses to select from. So I quickly realized that just one preparation tool is not going to help me. Okay, so I went online looking for an educational coach or a strategist. Now, why did I do that? Because I felt I needed strategy, somebody to walk me through exactly what I need to do to boost my confidence. I was very confident. I passed the. Bill Gates said that we all need people who, or everyone needs a coach sometime. Bill Gates said that we all need people who, or everyone needs a coach sometimes. Okay, everyone. Okay, we are very myopic. We also buy our own self. But if you have a second person, you have executives who have coaches, professional coaches, professional athletes, they have coaches. Why? Because sometimes they hire coaches not because they don't know how to play this game, but they need strategy. And that reminds me of tennis players. Tennis players, maybe there's pain how to position yourself behind the line, how to go with your kicks or the serve. A coach is going to guide you to be more competitive or to give you more advantageous position. Okay, so the reason why I came here this evening is to let you guys know that I'm here. Okay, so the reason why I came here this evening is to let you guys know that I'm here and that I'm here to support you. But of course, it's not free. But just for today, if you're here with me, I'm looking for two teachers who have failed their PPR test and who are ready to take and pass the next attempt on their next attempt. So if you have like the next 30 days to take your PPR exam, the Texas Teachers PPR attempt. So if you have like the next 30 days to take your PPR exam, the Texas Teachers PPR exam, I'm offering opportunity to work with. I just want to show you how, whether you know the stuff or not. Some of them are black and white. For instance, you're talking about, there's a question about Piaget, John Piaget, okay? And then there's, and in the answer choices, you have something about cognition, right? You know that's probably going to be the answer. Or that will be the answer. Or children's development, cognition, Piaget, you know. And then you talk about social interaction, cognition, Piaget, you know. And then you talk about social interaction, how they inform learning. You know, live. So it depends on how to approach it. So if you understand, if the stimulus is there, if you got a long stimulus, then you might want to do the back working from behind. You go through the stimulus, go through the question, see which ones are appropriate. Now, when I talk about appropriate, I'm talking about the exercises, guys. Some people, language learners, you're going to give them sentence stems, you're going to give them that kick, that jump start, right? And if you're doing science, you're going to teach and in the answer choices, something about science, that's something about discovery learning, something about inquiry based. Those are your answers, right? But they'll give you, among other things. That's how they want you to teach science, as inquiry based. Okay? So pretty much that's what I'll help you with. So I'll look at I'll examine with you your most current report or exam. Somebody may be strong when it comes to the content, right? The specific things you need to know. And somebody may be strong when it comes to application, the scenario-based, right? The specific things you need to know. And somebody may be strong when it comes to application, the scenario-based, how to apply the knowledge to scenarios, to situations. That's what most students struggle. That's a strategy to respond to the questions. And the reason why you need a coach is that sometimes you are not able to see your own inadequacies, or you're not able to see your own shortcomings or weaknesses or failure patterns, is what I call them. And that's where I come in. So I looked at it, we looked at it together, and I'll be able to point out to you, okay, this is what we need to work on. And that's where I come in. So I looked at it, we looked at it together, and I'll be able to point out to you, okay, this is what we need to work on. This area that you need to work on, and then I'll help you with that. Then the other thing I can also do for you, or that I will do for you, is that we're going to schedule time, and then we're going to do practice sessions together. And then I'm going to do what they call loud, right? Think through how I process the question. So I may tell you a kindergarten student, a kindergarten ELL student, the support that they need that they can pass. Okay, so I am here to support you. I have been through the program. Fortunately for me, I passed on my first attempt. But what I did was that I invested in myself to support you. I have been through the program. Fortunately for me, I passed on my first attempt. But what I did was that I invested in myself. I went to Certified Teacher. It's also a test preparation website, PPR preparation website. I went there. I paid $75 to take the exam, to prepare, to see where I'm at, to see how confident I am that if I go into the real PPR exams, what are my chances of passing? Okay, and I went into it. I paid $75 of my pass. So if I'm asking you to pay something, I have paid before, already paid. Okay, and of course, when you pay, you're gonna take it more seriously versus when it's like community service, like what I'm doing right now. If I give you tips, those are community service, which you buy with your time and attention, because you're gonna be listening to me, and you're gonna pass. You want to pass your PPR, and that's what I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you pass your PPR. The reason you need a coach is that the coach is gonna help you see your areas of weakness that you may not see for yourself. I come up with a plan. I also come up with one-on-one opportunity to go over practice questions, and I do think a lot how I process the question and come out with the best answer. So I'm asking you to join me. If you have failed your PPR exam, if you have failed your Texas PPR exam and you need support, I'm giving you opportunity to work with me so that I'll help you with strategy. I'm going to help you with strategy so that you can pass. Hey, Bob, I see you. I don't know if you're taking a Texas PPR exam, but that's what I'm here for, okay? Or if you know somebody who is in the state of Texas, United States, he wants to be a teacher or they want to be a teacher, but they are struggling to pass the teacher certification exam, that's why I'm here this evening. Teacher, but they are struggling to pass the teacher certification exam, that's why I'm here this evening. This TikTok failed. And then you're wondering, how in the world did you fail? Failed. And then you're wondering, how in the world did you fail? Okay, that's where I come in. So I work with you. If you know somebody, or if you yourself have taken the PPR, and if you are getting ready to take the PPR exam, you haven't taken it before, you haven't failed, but you're about to take it for your first time ever, and you're kind of having butterflies in your stomach, you're not sure whether you're going to pass or not, I'm asking you to join me. Give me opportunity. But what I'm doing for you today is that for serious candidates only, I want to give you opportunity to work with me so that you can pass your PPR exam. And not only PPR, if you are doing SPED exam and you need support, or if you're doing ESL supplementary, and you fail the exam and you need support, I'll be more than happy to support you. All I'm asking is that you're going to commit to the time. You're going to commit time to work with me. Every week, we're going to schedule 1 hour, 60-minute session every week for the next 4 weeks. I'll send you the calendar and you pick up the dates that works for your schedule. And then I'll send you the Zoom invite and you and I will get on Zoom. We examine or we review your most recent certification exam, okay? Most recent certification exam, and I'm going to tell you the patterns. I'm going to point out to you the failure patterns, why you failed. And maybe I ask you to show me, how do you think through a question like this? And then as you're talking, I'm listening. And then I'm be able to point out the areas that you need support. And once you strengthen those areas, I'll help you with a plan. Okay, I'll help you with a plan that is customized, that is personalized, that is targeted to your weak areas. Okay, so you may have strength in like parent, how to handle parent responsibilities as a teacher. At the beginning of the school year, you may invite the parents to an open house. You introduce yourself to the parent, you build rapport with the parents. So when a student is engaged in inappropriate behaviors, You don't call the parent right away and complain. The first thing you want to do is to build that rapport. You look for things that the student excel in. You commend the student. You tell the parent the student is doing good in these areas. You build that rapport with the parents, because remember, parents know their children better than we do as educators. Okay, so what happens is that we work with the parents to support their students. And so when the student doesn't, let's say the student avoids doing the work, what do? You encourage the student, you get a school counselor involved. But the question may ask you, what's the next step? If a student is avoiding work in your classroom, what's the next step to do to support the student? You don't call the parent. You may want to call the counselor first. And then if that doesn't work, then you also have conference with the student first. And then that doesn't work, you work with the counselor. If that doesn't work, then you might reach out to the parent. Even when you reach out to the parent, you don't go straight talking about the inappropriate behavior. You tell the parent what the student excels in first. And then you can talk about what you need support with. Okay, so we'll look at that. You may have strength in those areas. It's called pedagogy and professional responsibility for a reason. So some people struggle with the pedagogy. That is the instruction itself. And the instruction itself is in domains 1 and 3. Domains 1 and 3. You have 34% of the exam in domain 1 and 33% in domain 3. So where do you need to focus your attention? So when I talk about strategy, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, you look at, if the exam, 34% of the exam is coming from domain 1 and 33% is coming from domain 3, then where do you need to put your attention? Maybe domain 4 is only 22%. Okay, so you don't focus all your attention on domain 4, which is 22% of the exam. You're going to target the 34 domain 1, which is 34%, and domain 3, which is 33%. Okay, so strategy. That's what I do. I teach you strategy. Now you have the question. How do you answer the question? So if you have a question, they say a 6th grade student. So how do you approach such a question? Right away, you're thinking, well, the student is in the middle school and a 6th grader may be a 12-year-old or 13-year-old. That's how you process. 13-year-old, they're more interested in what their peers will say versus what their parents will say. But then the question will be like, when a 6th grade student, what's the group that has the most influence on the student? So you may have a question like that. Pedagogy. They want to find out, do you really understand how to address students when they're in the middle school, when they are like 13 years old and they are going through their emotional changes, they have their hormonal changes, and their peers matter to them more. But the question is asking you, who has the most influence on the student? And then you have, in the answer choices, you may have the peers, you may have the family, and then you may have other things that you can really know is a distractor. They may talk about their soccer club or their neighborhood group or something like that. You know, right off the bat, those two questions are just distractors. You take them out. And now you are handling the question, is it the family or is it the peers? Well, what do you think? What do you think is the right answer? So in this case, the answer is the family. Even though, well, at that age, their peers have strong influence of them, the family has the most influence on the student. The parents have the most influence on the student, even though, so that's where you have to have the strategy. The strategy is, how do you answer this question? You answer the question strategically. Okay, so guys, again, I want to encourage you to reach out to me, follow my videos, like my pages, DM me if you need support to pass your PPR. DM me, just DM the word diagnose, or DM the word PPR, or DM the word pass to me. Or you could also send an email to me When you check my bio, you would have my email address. So you can email diagnose to me, and then once you send the email to me, I'll respond to you, and then I'll initiate the process to help you pass your PPR exam, guys. When I was looking for an education coach in 2001, I couldn't find any. And so I knew that somebody could use my help. And that's why I became a PPR educational coach and certification strategist. Okay. And I can assure you that if you give me opportunity to work with me, I can help you. I can really help you pass your PPR exam. Okay. And for a very short time, for this month of March, if you are serious, if you are getting ready to take your PPR exam this month, and you want to pass on your next attempt, and you did fail on your previous attempt, give me the opportunity to work with you. I'm offering you 4 Zoom sessions, okay, 4 Zoom sessions, all at no charge to you. But what I'm asking in return, or the caveat, or what you do for me, is that when you pass, after you pass, because we'll sign an agreement, I'll send you a contract, and I'll spell in the contract that when you pass your exam with my support, you will come back and give me testimonial and a short video. That's all I'm asking in return. Guys, remember, what I'm giving you is a $500 value. Okay? I charge people $500 to offer 4 Zoom sessions to them. But I want to offer that to you so that you give me testimonial, because I believe testimonials are very powerful. When you tell people that, yes, Coach AJ helped me, and you believe, you give me your honest opinion. I'm not asking you to do anything crazy, okay? Just honest opinion based on the experience, because I know that I'm going to teach you the strategies, and those strategies will help you pass. So if you are with me right now, this is what I'm telling you, okay? So the PPR, as you know, is pedagogy and professional responsibilities. The pedagogy is the art of teaching. Pretty much that's what it is. It's the art of teaching. It's an art. How do you teach as a teacher? That's the pedagogy. So you're talking about instruction. How do you prepare for instruction? How do you execute lesson plan? How do you create a lesson plan? Okay? And when you create a lesson plan, how do you teach? We call it delivering the instruction. So you plan, you collaboratively plan with your stakeholders, maybe your school specialists. If you are a special education teacher, you co-plan with your co-teacher. Okay, and then you deliver the instruction. And as you are delivering the instruction, that is when you have the formative assessment come in. So how do you assess your student? What are your students doing? Are they understanding the concept? How are you checking for understanding? Formative assessment. And then are you doing observation? Are you walking around with the teacher's notes, taking anecdotal notes, observing and writing what you're seeing? Are the students getting it? Are they not getting it? Then do you have to do a reteach? And then after you are through with a unit, you do the summative assessment. A summative assessment is to test whether the student really understands. It comes from the word sum, total. The total instruction. How much did the student learn? Okay. And so pedagogy is the instruction. It's the art of teaching, how you prepare your lesson, how you deliver your lesson to the students. And your goal is to improve the educational outcome, the learning outcome for your students. So pedagogy and professional responsibilities. So the professional responsibility part is your responsibility as a teacher. And you know you have stakeholders as a teacher. Your first stakeholder is the student. Okay, and then you have other colleagues, other teachers that you work with. You have your administration team, your assistant principals. You have your the test coordinator, whoever coordinates the test, the exams, the STAR test, or the different tests that the student take. Those are your stakeholders. So professional responsibility toward them. Your administrators, they're going to do your observation. They're going to do your professional development. They check your, you have expectation. They come to observe you, So this is what the test is all about. The test is all about assessing you as a beginning teacher. As a beginning teacher, what do you need to know to be successful in teaching or delivering instruction to your students? Okay? So that's what it's all about. So you have 4 domains. Now, domain 1, you're going to do 34%. It's more about instruction. Domain 3 is 34% of the questions, the 150 questions you're going to take. So where you want to be strategic, you want to focus more on domain 1 and domain 3. Domain 4 is just 22%. Okay? So that's where you start. And then you want to go to the website, the vendor's website. So for PPR, you go to the carrier, the website name is Pearson. And you go to Pearson, you type in framework. It's going to tell you about the exam. You need to devote time, commit time to go there and analyze, review, and study the questions. You will see which questions has the most number of questions, or which domains have the most number of questions. So as you prepare, you know which areas you need to put your money, as they say, to get the bang for your bucks. And then invest in the test preparation. When you finish all your requirements, if you are going through alternative certification program, or if you are going through college preparation program to become a teacher, at the end of the program, you're going to take a practice exam. They may have some sort of practice exam for you. And they may want you to pass with like 80% or 90%. And once you demonstrate competency that you have passed that exam, then they will give you opportunity to go take the PPR exam. Okay, but what I'm saying is that just one preparation tool is not enough. You have to expose yourself to a lot of questions. Okay, and that's where the investment comes in. So if you go to the Pearson website, you pay $10. Okay, it's not free, guys. You pay $10, and they'll give you 90 questions. In the real PPR exam, you get 150 questions. So for me, the 90 questions is not a good barometer to measure whether you're going to pass. Because if I'm going to take 150 questions and you give me 90 questions, what happened to the 60 questions, right? So that's why I encourage you, if you're ready to take your PPR exam, don't focus only on one exam, on one preparation tool, and think you're ready to go. Because research shows that nationwide, United States, 54% of candidates who take the test fail on their first attempt. 54%. So that means like only 46% pass the teacher certification exam. Why? Because you only take one assessment, one practice section for your alternative certification program or educator preparation program, and you think you're good. And I'm here to tell you you're not good. That's strategically you're not good, because you haven't built your muscle memory. To build your muscle memory to pass your PPR, you need to be exposed to a whole bunch of questions. I would say over 1,000 questions. Okay? You need to be exposed to over 1,000 questions and see the question structure. And see, why did they say that this answer is correct versus what other questions? Or why is this? They will say, what is the best next step? So again, strategy comes in when you learn how the questions are framed or formulated, and then you learn how to pick your answers strategically. Okay, that's where I come in. So when I work with you, my first session with you, we're going to talk about your results, the result for your most current exam. So you took the PPR and you failed. I want to see that report, that failure report. Maybe you wanted to score the 240%, but you scored 220. Okay, I want to see that, and I want to work with you on that. So we're going to analyze that report. Which domains do you have problems with? Which areas are weaknesses for you? Why are you failing the exam? Okay, so we do that. I do that with you in one session, like 60 minutes. And then I have another session, we talk about strategy and learning plan. Remember, every person has a different learning profile. So that's why I do one-on-one. I don't do group coaching, guys. I do one-on-one. That's my niche, or that's my service delivery. One-on-one on Zoom with you. We go over your questions. So we'll come out with a pattern. You see a pattern that these are the questions you struggle with. And then we come up with a plan. Okay, I help you develop a plan for you. Everyone is different. For you, you may need to work more on instruction, domains 1 and domains 3. That's where you need to work more. And the other domain 2 and 4, you may be good in that. You don't need to worry about that. But then once you see the data, we analyze the data, that's going to make more sense to you. Okay? And that's the reason why I'm telling you guys, you need a coach. You need a coach. I'm here to help you. I've been through the program myself, and I know how it works. And I've developed this framework that will help you. So like Bill Gates said everyone needs a coach. Why? Because we all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. When people give us feedback, that's how we improve. But so you should be willing to make that investment, guys. And I'm telling you right now. Now, if you don't make that investment and you think that you go in and pass on your next attempt, and guess what? You go into the PPR exam, the Texas PPR teacher exam, and you fail again. Guess what? You paid $116. And if you failed it 5 times, that's 116 times 5, which is $580. Okay, because you did not invest. You think you got it. So what I'm asking you, if you are serious about taking and passing your next PPR exam on your next attempt, give me opportunity to work with you. I'm not asking you for any money right now. All I need is that you commit, you make a commitment, you're serious about it, okay? You make a commitment that you're going to be available for the next 4 weeks. Every week, you're going to be available for 60-minute session with me. And guys, I believe you can do it, okay? You can do it, all right? Commit 60 minutes. And then, but what I'm asking for is that I'm looking for the retakers, those who have taken the PPR, Texas PPR teacher exam and have failed. So I want to see your most current test results or test report. And then I would analyze it with you. We look at the areas where you are weak, your weak areas. You see the pattern, the failure pattern. And that's when I help you develop a plan for you. This is targeted. This is customized for you based on your learning profile and your areas of weakness. And we're going to strengthen those areas and give you the confidence that you need so that when you go into your next attempt, you feel very confident that you are going to take the test and pass. And once you pass the test, you come back to my profile and then you give me a testimonial. That's how you pay me, okay? You give me a testimonial to show that the program that I showed you or the framework that I taught you really gave you the results, okay? Because I know that's all you care about. Any student who did not pass the PPR exam, all they want is that they want to pass. Why? Because if you don't pass and you're still teaching with your intern certificate, when it expires, they're going to kick you out. You may get fired or your pay grade will change. You may be demoted. So instead of being paid a regular teacher salary or teacher pay, you're going to be paid like half of it. So my district starts a certified teacher at $64,000. Now, if you don't pass your certification test exam within the year, the 1 year that's given you, you may be put back on a paraprofessional level or substitute level, okay? So these stakes are high. The stakes are high. You want to pass on your next attempt. And that's why I'm here to help you. I can assure you, if you can commit to it, I'll coach you. Okay, now all I'm asking is that you become coachable. And if I push you a little bit, don't get angry. Don't be offended. That's what I do. I help you to pass. I help you to see the areas that you're weak. I help you with a plan, and I hold you accountable because I want you to commit to time to prepare. In those areas that you are weak, we're going to strengthen. We're going to give you, I'm going to go over sample practice questions with you, and I'll talk through it. Okay, we call it Think Aloud, which is an instructional strategy. Think Aloud, where I'm telling you about my thought process, why I'm picking this answer, and the rationale behind it. Okay, so what I see when I'm coaching new candidates, this is what I see: content deficiency. So sometimes the student is not current with best practices. And remember, the best practices is what you need to know. It's not about, well, some people will tell you, well, think about the question like in a perfect world. But I say what you need to know is the best practice. So if you're teaching science, what is the best practice of teaching science? Discovery learning, right? So if among the answer choices you see inquiry learning, discovery learning, that should be your response. If you're teaching ELL student, English language learners, you need explicit instruction, you need sentence terms, you need to give them the support. We call it, I'm trying to look for the word, scaffolding, okay, scaffolding. And Vygotsky talks about ZPD, which is zone of proximal development, where you don't give the student too high that they give up, or you don't give them too low that they get unmotivated and think it's easy. You challenge them a little bit above what they can do. Okay, a little bit above the ZPD, that's what, scaffolding. And then gradually you fade it away. Okay, so when you're teaching, the most current or the best practice for teaching ELL right now is that you want to make sure that these students are taught explicitly. So if you're teaching them vocabulary, you're teaching them, you want to go, this is the word, this is how you pronounce it, this is what it means. And then you can internalize it. They can internalize it. And then you can extend it to other areas. Now, what do you do with a student that is gifted and talented in your class? The student has completed the work, and now he's sitting down doing nothing. What do? You give them extension activity. That's the best practice right now. What are you going to do to extend that student's knowledge? Okay, what are you going to do? So that's how you think through those questions. And then they're telling you about a student who is a 6th grader. Usually it starts a 6th grader or a 10th grade student or this grade student. So as the strategy to approach those is that when you talk about a 6th grader, I'm thinking this student is a 12-year-old, right? Or maybe a 13-year-old student. And then they're asking you, who has the most influence on this student? Is it his peers? Is this his church? Is this his community? Or is this his parents? You have these 4 answer choices. So how are you going to answer the question? You might remember what you learned from Piaget talking about student development, or Kohlberg talking about students' development. And then at that stage, when they're in the middle school, they seem to trying to figure out who they are, right? The identity crisis, identity. And then they're trying to, their peers, they are trying to fit in. Their peers matter to them more. But the question is asking you, who has the most influence? Is it the peers or is it the family, the parents? And so in the answer choices, if you have the community, that's just out. We know it's not going to be the community. Is it his church? That's probably not out. It's going to be the family. Why? The family still has the most influence on the student. The question is asking you, who has the most influence? Okay, so you know this because you are learning about the best practice. The best practice is that we work with the family. And the family, the parents. The parents are collaborators. They are partners for their students' development. And they know their student better than we do, teachers, right? So I want you to, if you're ready to pass your certification exam, Or I can teach you, or I want to teach you right now, I want to teach you strategy. Strategy. I believe strategy is the most important thing. Strategy is the reason why athletes hire coaches. They may be a good shooter already, but the coach is going to take them, elevate that talent, elevate that gift that they have. So you may think you know, you're good, you're about to pass your exam, but something in your belly gives you butterflies. You're not sure about it. You already failed once. So let me give you clarity. Okay, so the reason why I hop on this evening to give you TikTok live is that I believe that someone out there is getting ready to take the PPR exam again. Now, if you know someone who is ready to take the PPR exam, and that person is serious, they've learned everything, they got good knowledge, but what they are lacking is strategy. They struggle, they overthink it, they don't process it properly. They have strategy deficiency. I want you to connect me to that person. If it is you, all I ask is when this is over, or you can DM me, just DM the word diagnose, or strategy. DM strategy to me, or you can email it to my email, which is in my bio, strategy, just the word strategy. And then I'll initiate the process to help you. I'll send you the agreement to sign. And what I'm asking in return for a $5 value for our coaching session is that you give me a testimonial. So once you pass, you don't give me a testimonial until you pass. But when you take your test and you pass, you come back and give me testimonial. Give me honest opinion, honest experience, based on the experience and the support that I gave you. I want you to tell the world how good of a coach I am, so that somebody somewhere will trust me to give me the opportunity to help them. Okay, so if you are getting ready to take your PPR exam, this is what I'm going to offer you. I'm going to offer you 4 hours, 4 sessions. So it doesn't mean like continuously 4 hours. I'm giving you 4 sessions. Every week, I'll send you on a calendar and you pick the time, 1 hour session that will work with you. We'll begin with your most current results. Okay, so we will analyze that together. I'll do that with you. And then you see, I'll point out your pattern, your failure patterns. These are the areas where you're struggling. This is why you didn't pass. This is why you scored a 220 versus scoring 240. And then once we are clear on that, I give you the plan. So in order to address these areas, this is what must happen. This is what we're going to do. And I'm going to show you what you need to do, okay? And I would recommend that if you have never taken the PPR exam and you are preparing to go take it the first time, you still need a coach. Why? You need clarity. You need strategy. You think you are good until Mike Tyson said it, right? They said Mike Tyson once said everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face or in the mouth. So you might think, I can go into my PPR on my first attempt and pass. I didn't feel I could go in and pass on my first attempt. I thought I needed more questions. I needed strategy. So I went online and I registered with Certified Teacher. It gave me 150 questions, just as the PPR exam will give me 150 questions, not the practice test that Pearson gives, because Pearson exam is going to give you 90 minutes, 90 tests, 90 questions on the test. And then what happens to the 60 questions? So I paid $75, guys, and this was in 2021, during the pandemic. I paid $75 to Certified Teachers. I took the test and I passed, okay? And so I did the 240 tutoring. I did Certified Teacher. Now I felt I'm ready to go. And then I did the diagnosis after that. So when you take the test, you have to do the diagnostics. You have to go back to your test and then look at the areas of weaknesses. And like I said, as a coach, I will be able to point out those areas to you better than you yourself, because sometimes we don't see our own blind spots, right? We think we do, but we don't. And that's why you failed. Because if you could see your own blind spot, you could have passed on your first attempt. But statistics nationwide also has it that about 45% of candidates pass on their first attempt. 46%. That means 54% of candidates who take the teacher certification exam in the United States, they don't pass on their first attempt. Why? Because in my opinion, they lack the muscle memory. You take the one test, 242, or whatever passage preparation, whatever tool your program has, your alternative certification program, or maybe your college preparation program has, and you pass that test and they think you're good to go. But remember, one exposure, you need more, okay? In my opinion, you need about 1,000 or more questions, or maybe 500 questions. If they're going to take 150, you probably need 10%, okay? You need more questions, pretty much. And then you need strategy. How do you think through the questions, especially the scenario-based questions? Okay, those clustered questions, they will give you a whole sentence, like a long sentence. And then they will give you STEM. The STEM are the questions. And then they will give you the answer choices, A, B, C, D, E. So when you have that, my strategy that I want to teach you, and it also said it has it on the website, the Pearson website. In fact, that's where you need to start. If you're going to take a PPR exam, you start by going to the Pearson website, the carrier, the vendor's website, because that's where the questions are going to come. You're going to take the exam with them. So you go to the vendor's website and you read the framework. You read about the exam. And then you come to find that domain 1, you have like 34% of the questions of the entire 150. 34% of that is in domain 1. And then 33% of the question is in domain 3. And it all has to do with instruction, how to teach. The pedagogy side, okay, remember, pedagogy and professional responsibilities. Pedagogy means the art of teaching, the art of instruction, the art of delivering. And that includes preparing the instruction, which, of course, in Texas, you align it to the state standards, okay, the TEKS. You align your instruction, you have your lesson objective, you align it to the TEKS. You have your formative assessment. How are you going to assess your students' learning? How are you going to know that they have learned or they have mastered the learning objectives? Okay, and then you have your summative assessment, and then you're going to teach different content areas. You're going to teach, let's say, ELA, and then you have English language learners in your class. You're going to make adjustment, accommodation for those ones. What are you going to do? So you first of all need to know the content first. That's why most places they will have you pass your content test before you take the PPR. So when you take the content test, the PPR, you're going to have some of the content inside the PPR exam, okay? So when you go there, you need strategy. You need strategy to pass, guys. And give me opportunity to show you my framework. My framework really works. The students that I have helped tell me that they work, and I'm confident. I want you to experience that so that you can come back and give me testimonial. I want more people to give me testimonial. That's why I'm offering this TikTok live. So if you are ready, if you are committed, and to commit 60 minutes every week for the next 4 weeks, okay, to be on Zoom with me, one-on-one, and all we do, first of all, analyze your most current PPR results. We analyze together, you and I, on Zoom. We look at your areas, and then I point out to you your failure patterns, why you're failing. Sometimes maybe it may be because you are overthinking. You are not understanding the question, or you are confusing the question. So I'll give you clarity, or I'll help you with clarity, and then I'll help you with strategy. Okay. So what I'm asking is, if you are here with me, and I see user 09, I see other people listening to me. If you're getting ready to take your PPR exam, or you know somebody who is taking their PPR exam, let them know or be informed that Coach AJ helps people pass their PPR exam. People who have failed pass. And he's offering for the month of March, he is offering 4 Zoom sessions. Okay, so the 4 Zoom sessions, the first one is going to be the diagnostics review. And then the next one will be developing a plan for your unique situation, targeted instruction for you. And then the next one, I'm going to go over the practice questions with you. 1 hour session of practice question. And I'll do think aloud, okay, which is also a strategy of teaching math. Think aloud is one strategy of teaching mathematics, where the teacher talks through how they process, and the kids are listening, the students are listening, while the teacher is telling why I move this over here, I hold this place, I do this, and the kids are watching and they are listening. And that's how they are learning. Then you tell them, turn and talk. First of all, think about it, silent solo, and then turn to your shoulder partner and have conversation. So I'll teach you strategy, okay? And then anything else that I can support you with, all right? And then I'll prepare you for the teacher certification exam. And when you pass the exam, you come back and give me testimony. And I also ask that you do a short video and tell the world how good my support has been or how good my framework has been. You do not need to study so much. It's not about knowledge. It's about strategy. And that strategy I'm willing to teach you for free, okay? It's a $500 value. If you go online and you check the tutors, okay? I'm not a tutor, guys. I'm an educational coach. So I work one-on-one with you. I believe that every student has a unique learning profile. And that's why I don't do group teaching or group coaching. I do it one-on-one because everyone has a unique learning profile and everyone has your unique needs. Okay? So I will invite you to email the word strategy to me. If you check my bio, you'll see my email address. Or text, if you're serious, like, Mr. AJ, I can't wait to send you email. I just want to text. You can text strategy to me. I'm offering this to only 2 people. Okay? $500 value, $1,000 value to 2 candidates who are serious. And the candidates must be individuals who have already failed the Texas PPR exam and they are willing to pass on their next attempt. Those are the candidates I'm looking for. But if you are new and this is your first time you're going to take your PPR exam and you need strategy session, that one I ask that you pay me $75. Okay? You pay me $75 and I have one session of 60 minutes to talk about strategy. Just strategy. How to answer the questions, what to focus on, how many questions you need to focus, which areas are your weaknesses, because I'm going to ask you to go take a test. If you haven't taken any tests, you're not ready to pass the PPR exam. So I'll ask you to go to Pearson and do the 90 questions, or I'll ask you to go to Certified Teacher and take their 150 questions. They have 150 practice questions, which mimics what Pearson will give you. Because I struggle to understand why Pearson give you 90 questions versus giving 150. I would have loved if they could give you something similar to what you have for the PPR exam, which is 150 questions. So give me 150 questions, give me those 5 hours to complete it, and so I can assess my performance and know that, well, I'm confident going into the next exam that I'm going in and I'm going to pass. Okay, so this is the offer I have for you. I have 2 minutes. So if you have any question for me, I invite you to email it to me, or you can send me your question in the chat. Do you have any question for me? User 09XH61 who has joined me. And are you getting ready to take your PPR exam? Or do you know somebody who is going to take their PPR exam and that I could help for his testimonial or to do a short video after they pass, okay? You're not going to give me any testimonial if you don't pass, but I'm very confident that you will pass your PPR on your next attempt, and then you're going to come back and give me the testimonial. And then you do a short video to tell the world and Texas how good Coach AJ has been to you. Because trust me, it's not about knowledge of the exam. You already have the content knowledge. You're good with the knowledge. What you need to do is to learn the strategy of answering those questions and where to put your money, where your mouth is, okay? How you could get a big bang for your bucks. In other words, which areas, because if you can focus on just 10%, you remember the Pareto analysis or Pareto rule, 80-20 rule, is that if you're going to get 80% of your result doing 20% thing, that's what you do. You don't need to learn everything. Your areas of weakness is where you need to strengthen so that when you go to the exam, bam, you pass. Okay, so on that note, guys, I'm so thankful that you had a chance to join me live this evening. Next week, Sunday, around this time, 8 p.m., maybe earlier than that, I'll do another live. And if you have any questions for me, as far as the PPR, as far as special education, as far as English as a second language, please feel free to DM me. Okay, but this is the offer I'm giving you guys. If you're serious about passing your PPR exam, I have a framework to help you. I don't do group coaching. I do one-on-one because I believe that every student has a unique needs and have different learning profiles. So your learning profile, you take the test. I ask you to go take the test. You pay $75 and then bring the results so we can analyze. I can analyze for you. And then I create a plan for you. And once you do what I ask you to do, you will feel confident. And then you will go in and take your PPR exam and pass. And then you come back and give me a testimonial and make a short video telling people how excited you are working with me. But I need you to commit 60 minutes every week for the next 4 weeks. Okay, so if you are willing to commit 60 minutes every week for the next 4 weeks, I encourage you to email the word strategy to me or DM the word strategy to me and tell me, Mr. AJ, I'm up for the challenge. Sign me up. All right, and I'll help you pass your PPR exam. And if it is the special education exam that you need support with, I'll be happy to help you. If it's the PACT that you need support with, I'll be happy to help you. If it's any Texas exam, I'll be happy to help you because that Texas, you know what it means? TEXES, Texas Examination of Educator Standards. Texas Examination of Educator Standards. They are testing you on how current are you on best practices, the educator standards, the TEKS, okay, the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, the TEKS, that's what it means. And give me opportunity to help you, okay? So I'm asking you if you are ready for the challenge, if you want to pass your PPR and you just need strategy session, that one will be $75. You pay $75, I give you 60 minutes of strategy. We just talk strategy. But I would love it that you already have taken a PPR exam, you have taken a certification exam and failed, so we have the record to work with. I have something I can review with you and show you your patterns of failure, your failure patterns, why you failed, and then we can come up with a plan to strengthen that. I also have a 60-minute practice session where I talk through, I have read aloud. Okay, or think aloud is what I'm trying to say. So I thought through how I process the questions and how we come up with the best answers and what you need to be looking out for on your next PPR exam. Okay, so it's been a pleasure having you guys with me. Again, this is PPR certification exam. If you are ready to take your Texas Pedagogy and Professional Responsibility exam and you feel that you need help, or you know somebody, a teacher who is struggling to pass and they are about to lose their job is on the line, because remember, these are high-stakes exams. If you don't pass, you can't be a teacher. You can't be a certified teacher in the state of Texas. Your school district will kick you out, or they demote you to a paraprofessional. Instead of making $64,000, you're going to be making half of that, which is $35,000. And boy, that sucks. Okay, it's like falling from grace to the grass, okay? from hero to zero. We don't want that. So we want you to pass your exam, but I want you to think of the money as investment. If you pay money to me, I'm not a con artist, guys, and I'm not a fluke. I send you a contract. You sign the contract, okay, and I get notified that you signed a contract, and I'll send you the links. I send you the Zoom link to join me, and then you share your screen with me, or you could send your most current PPR score, test score with me, and I analyze it, and I'll point the areas of weakness. Based on those areas of weakness, we develop a plan, okay, your study plan, your unique targeted study plan for you. And then once you prepare in those areas and you gain confidence, then I'd have the practice session with you. PPR practice session, another 60 minutes, just practice questions. And I'll talk through it, think aloud how I solve them. And then once you feel confident, you can register and go take the test. And then all I want to hear is that, Mr. AJ, guess what? I passed it PPR. And then I say, hallelujah. I'm happy for you. Congratulations. Now, when you pass, then you're going to come back to my page and give me a testimony. I like you to put the testimonial on the videos that I have the most views. So if I have 840 views, that's the most views I have. I want you to put your testimonial out there. And then you do a short video and send it to me so I can use it for my marketing. That's all I ask for you. So for the month of March, if you know anybody who wants to pass their PPR exam, the Texas teacher exam, and they are struggling, tell them to send an email to me, the word strategy. Just send strategy to my email. Or you can find my text message, my cell phone number. And then you text me, okay? All right. Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure working with you. If you have a question, send it to me. You could also email me, and I'll help you. And if you have specific questions about the PPR, please feel free to connect with me, okay? And I'll be happy to help you. I look forward to supporting you guys, and please have a great day. If you want to hang around and ask me a question too, I'll be very happy to answer it. But I'm here. My name is Coach AJ. I'm an educational coach. I'm a teacher certification strategist. And all that I do is teach you strategy that will help you pass your exam. And one of the strategies that I gave out tonight is that you need to go to the Test Makers website. If you're taking a PPR, you go to the Pearson website. Go there, type in framework, and read about the exam. Read about how the clustered questions are framed versus how the single question or the multiple choice questions are framed. Okay? And then think about what percentage do you need to focus on. So domain 1 contains 34%. That's where you need to focus instruction. That's where you need to focus your attention. What is the current strategy, best practice, something that you learn in your modules or in your coursework, okay? And you want to have that. And then you come back to module or domain 3. Domain 3 is also about instruction. How are you going to connect instruction to the TEKS, the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, the state standards, okay, very important. So how are you going to prepare instruction? How are you going to deliver instruction? How are you going to assess instruction? And then how are you going to assess student learning or student growth? So that's what you as a beginning teacher should know. And then when you talk about the pedagogy and professional responsibility, your professional responsibility are toward your stakeholders. You have 4 stakeholders. You have the student, the parents, your co-teachers, or your administrators, your test coordinator, anybody from your district, and then you have your parents, right? Your student, your parent, your co-teachers, your administrators. Okay, so these are the relationship you maintain while you're teaching, and you want to keep it professional. You don't want to go there and lose it. You don't go there and have attitude. You work with people. Even though you may not like them, you still got to work with them. And you have to be flexible. You have to be reasonable. You have to be a professional at all times. Okay? So if you really want to pass your PPR exam, this is where I conclude. If you have a question for me, you can email it to me or you can text me. You can find my text message, my cell phone number in the bio. You can find my email in my bio. And if you want me to help you, you should be willing to give me a testimonial and a short video after you pass your exam. Okay. So after you pass your exam, this is the offer I'm giving the whole night. All right. But I ask you to take the offer between this month of March. So you get 4 Zoom sessions with me. Every week, I send you a schedule, a calendar, and you schedule 60 minutes with me. Every week, 60 minutes for the next 4 weeks. We'll first of all diagnose your previous exam report, and then we'll talk about specific patterns in your performance, why you failed. Could it be the scenario questions? You're overthinking too much, or you're not processing them accurately. That's when I help you with strategy, okay? Remember I mentioned to you earlier, Bill Gates said everyone needs a coach. Why? Because we all need people who will give us feedback. And that's feedback. When we get that feedback, that's how we improve. So you see athletes hiring coaches, right? You see business executive hiring business coaches. Why? Because they know that somebody's going to give them strategy so that they can improve in their performance. So if you are here and you're still watching me and you're getting ready to take your PPR exam, or you know somebody who is struggling to pass the Texas teacher exam and you want to help them out, just tell them Coach AJ, who is an educational coach in the state of Texas. I currently reside in Houston, Texas, okay? I'm reaching you guys from Houston, Texas. All I'm asking is that if you want to pass your PPR exam for this month only, and I'm asking for 2 people, no charge. I'm not charging you anything. What I want in return is that you give me testimonial and a short video telling the world in Texas how good my support has been for you passing your exam. And you don't give me that testimonial until after you pass the exam, okay? So this is where I end my presentation for today, my TikTok Live. This is my first time ever. I'm excited that it has concluded. If you're really serious about support, give me opportunity to help you, okay? Just send me an email with the word strategy. And as you send me the email, be ready to be coachable. Be ready to learn, okay? Because I'm a coach, I'm going to push you. I'm going to hold you accountable. And I hope that you're going to enjoy that. I always say that learning is fun. If you're not having fun, you're not learning. When I was going through the teacher certification program, I had a lot of fun. When I come across expression, I'm like, ZPD, zone of proximal development. Okay, ZPD. You know, I just had fun with it. And then you talk about John Piaget, cognitive development. Okay, sensory motor, pre-convention. Okay, I like that, pre-operational stage. And then you talk about Kohlberg. Kohlberg talks about different stages. You got 8 stages and a total of 16 phases in the stages. You talk about Lev Vygotsky and scaffolding. Okay, social, cultural learning theory, where he thinks that as students interact among themselves, they are learning. Okay, and then you talk about language acquisition device by Chomsky. I had fun with them. Like Chomsky believes that if you are learning language, we have something that's in it, a device in it in us that helps us to learn languages that the animals cannot learn. You don't see animals speaking languages. Well, sometimes we think dolphins have their own way of communicating, birds have their own way, but they don't use language like we do. Okay, so Chomsky, that's having fun. You have to enjoy learning, guys. That's another way of motivating yourself and gaining confidence. When you come up with some new concept, have fun with it. That's how you remember, you retain it. But anyway, I would conclude here, guys. And again, if you need help to pass your PPR exam, I'm giving 2 people who are committed opportunity to do no charge, but you have to be ready to commit to 4 sessions. Every week we do 60-minute session. I'll send you a calendar. You pick those days that you're available and you commit to show up. Okay? You commit to share your current test exam score with me. And then you and I, we analyze it together and I show you why you failed and how you process it. And I ask you to tell me, this question you got wrong, what were you thinking? What was your thought process? How did you process it? How did you pick this answer? So I take 60 minutes to go through with that with you. And once I understand where your weaknesses are, your failure patterns are, I then develop a plan for you. Plan for you, a unique plan, strategy, customized, personalized for you in your your weaknesses areas of opportunity. So once you focus on those areas and you practice and you prepare very well, you should be good to go. You should be able to take your next test and pass. And after you pass the test, you come back, okay, and give me testimony. I also ask that you take a picture, remove all your personally identifiable information, your name, your date of birth, and all that stuff from there, and just share it with me so that people in Texas can see that Coach AJ, the framework that he has works, okay, and that some people will be willing to give me their business because you benefited from me at no charge. You helped me in my marketing efforts, okay? So guys, this concludes my my TikTok Live first time ever presentation. And if you have any question for me, you can email me, all right? It's all about the Texas PPR Teacher Certification Exam. If you need help, let me help you. I've been there, I've done that. I have seen the way to process the exam, and I have show you how to pass your exam on your next attempt. And I'm asking for 2 people at no charge. Anybody beyond that, you're going to have to pay. I charge $125 for one 60-minute session, and I teach you only strategy. Okay, if you want me to do a practice session with you one-on-one, $125. So I say that you pay me $500 and I do 4 sessions with you. But right now, I'm not charging you anything. I'm asking for 2 people because testimonial and that short video is more important to me. I want you to give me that testimonial after you pass your exam, not now. When you pass your exam, you come back. In your excitement and your joy, you give me the testimonial and you give me the short video that I can share with other candidates who may want to benefit from the program that I have. Okay? So if you are serious about passing your PPR exam, email the word strategy to me. Just email strategy to me and I'll initiate the process to support you. But you should be willing to commit 60 minutes every week, 60 minutes every week for the next 4 weeks. And thank God most of us are on spring break. All right, starting tomorrow, most of us are going to be on spring break. So you should be able to commit that 60 minutes. And I can promise you, if you can do the next 4 weeks, you should feel very ready. You feel competent and confident to go into your next PPR exam and pass. Okay? So this is where I sign off. Get the help you need to pass the Texas PPR exam. Once more, I say it. Get the help you need. And guys, remember, any money that you pay to hire a coach, the coach will give you strategy, will give you advantage, and will give you opportunity to pass. Okay? And until I see you guys next week, you guys have a good one. Bye, everyone.